Hello, everybody. Um, I think it's the managers who lose sleep. The creative people do not. If they're well rested, their mind works better. Unfortunately, we have attached too much of enigma to innovation and creativity, and that has really clouded issues. Both creativity and innovation is something which is very, very central to the structure of the human brain. I would like to share with you my understanding of creativity and innovation and my experiments with my students, and I think it works. If you look at the evolution of the brain, you will see the brain has actually evolved in response to the need to move. Now, if you have to move, then you have to coordinate your various limbs in the body, and you have to coordinate them in response to the cues that you are getting from your environment. So you're looking at the environment, you are trying to figure out what is there in the environment. You have to move through that environment. So what is happening is that the brain is developing two capabilities. One is very kinesthetic, ability to move all the parts of your body. The other is something visual, something very sensory, and you are deriving patterns from what you are seeing, and patterns which are meaningful to you. Now, if the brain of the cerebrum type is evolving and becoming larger, it is to take care of more and more complex problems as far as pattern recognition is concerned. As far as movement is concerned, you require a very small brain. So the task, perhaps the task of a fish swimming in the water is much easier than a spider walking on land. But the task of pattern recognition is more difficult, and that was the need for designing a bigger and bigger brain. So your mind already has the inherent capability to be creative and innovative. And I think this understanding is extremely important. Species, they get into groups and there is a group leader and they are moving for what? Where are they going? Is it a random walk? No, obviously they are moving for a better future. And if they are moving for a better future, they must be having some capability to sense where the better future lies. So the mind is also developing the capability to visualize, to imagine, to anticipate. Now these capabilities are there inherent in the human mind. And I think it's important that our education system recognizes this. Unless the education system recognizes this, it will not be able to evolve any curriculum whatsoever which will bring out the innate creativity and innovativeness in the people. One of my teachers at the Royal College of Art, he said, design is about relationships, and that really changed my way of looking at things. Come to think of it, all thinking is about relationships. Whichever field, whichever discipline you are working with, whether you are playing football or cricket, or you are composing poetry or a painter, whatever you are doing, it's all about relationships. And once we understand that it's all about relationships, we've let our mind open and free to do what it is best suited to do. This is very, very important. Let your mind free. Let it discover its own nature. Let it do what it's meant to do. So seeking, exploring, establishing a relationship is at the core of all biological activity. Recognize that. We go and select the best, most intelligent students in our universities, in our colleges. But what do we do with that intelligence? Do we have a roadmap to develop that intelligence that we have in our students to begin with? Unfortunately not. And I think it's important to understand, once you understand that intelligence is to do with relationships, seeking patterns and finding relationships. Then you say a creative person is one who can see more relationships, more configurations. Now this distinction is very important for us to understand. We have a roadmap and we have a building block here. We are using the least amount of vocabulary to build up this whole paradigm. Another thing that I see is that when you are in that intelligence phase only, you are dealing with objects. That's what the biological species essentially was doing. It was looking at the environment, it was trying to figure out things. But as you move down, you are more concerned with values. Now, this is another thing that we have to understand. Processing values. This has to become part of our curriculum. Another dimension, intelligence is to do with quick thinking, more intelligent, quickly response. But innovation is more to do with reflective thinking. Unfortunately, in our curriculum, this whole system of having tests, time-bound tests, has only created quick thinkers. They want quick results. They want to do only those things which will yield quick results. So we do small little exercises with the students to open up their mind. And what happens is that the mind, when it sees an object, it has to figure out what is the object in what is presented to them. So there is a figure and there is an object. And you see an object once. The moment you see an object, you stop seeing any further because you have discovered the object, you have discovered the pattern. So we give exercises. So one of the exercises was that, well, you have to have a yogic posture. So all students worked on some yogic posture of the choice. But I want the rest of the space also to be meaningful. Discover patterns which can fit in. I want the yogic posture to be recognized, and I would also want the other thing to be recognizable. And they play with it, and thereby they become more fine-tuned as far as seeing is concerned. And then we work with exercises like this, which you will see in any design school. So there are some curriculums in our university who are consciously cultivating creativity. But there are many curriculums which are not doing anything at all. They think that we just have to give information and the rest will follow, which is very sad. Now, enhancing creativity. Often, this was one of the exercises that we said, let's have a wind-powered generator. And we did a few experiments and said, look, if you have 20 kilometer per hour wind, you are able to have 5 watts of energy. You can run a mobile phone. You can have an LED torch, okay? And that will serve a lot of things. So they came up with various solutions. And when there is a group of students faced with the same problem, and when they come up with various solutions to it, then all of a sudden you discover what creativity is about, that it is possible to have many configurations. And this realization is good enough. Next time when they are working, they're exploring more. They know that their group of students were able to create solutions. There must be something more. So we do further things. We give them existing problems, say, what improvements can we bring about, and so on and so forth. Now, innovation to me is a very interesting word. Look at nova over ovation. It has the complete definition of what innovation is about. It has to be new, there has to be a seminal idea in it, and it must deserve ovation. Then only it is innovation. That means, thank you. That means you have to do something which is of relevance to the people. Unless it is something of relevance to the people, it's not innovation. It could be an invention. And there are many inventions which will not be even taken forward. Now, as I go a little deeper, we talked of values, and as far as innovation is concerned, I find that there are two things which are important to innovation. One is creativity and the other is care. To me, it summarizes my complete philosophy of life. You can do anything and you can do it very well if you just have these two concepts and values deeply inculcated in yourself. This is a very favorite diagram of mine. I love it. I expose this to my students. They explore it. The horizontal axis represents creativity. The vertical axis represents care. There can be two types of care. I must care for myself. Very important. A child, unless it cares for itself, it cannot grow. I must care for the other. That's the other end. I must care for the environment. Both these domains are absolutely essential. On the horizontal axis, we have the creativity, the emotional creativity, the emotional side of thinking, and the technical side of thinking. They are the two parts of the brain. We all know about it. There is no object which is 100% emotional. There will be always an element of technical component to it. And there is no object which is 100% technical. And similarly, as far as care is concerned, I have to care for myself and I have to care for others. I use this for mapping various things. Now, it was very important to me to show my students that creativity, innovativeness, thinking is something which is seminal to our culture. And I found this interesting story of Kartikeya and Ganesh, and they're given the task of going around the earth. Kartikeya handled this problem in a very technical fashion. He got on his peacock and just went around the earth. Whereas Ganesh handled it in an emotional fashion. And thereby, through this mythology, we are being told that these are the two very important forms of thinking. Look at the care. So you have Diti and Aditi, both are sisters, wives of Kashyap Muni. One produced asurs and the other produced very, very nice, good people who really cared for everybody. And again in this mythology, they said the two have to work together. Now this is very significant. Then I look at values. What are the values that are required for emotional design, for technical design, for being aesthetic and for being hedonistic? I'm not attaching any value judgment to hedonistic and aesthetic or emotional or technical. All are necessary. And I think in our education system, we have to explore these values. And that's important to do. Now you look at our education system. The new India education system is in that domain, hedonistic, technical. But the traditional Indian education system was on the emotional and aesthetic side. And I think this was important for me and for my students, because they would say, well, how can India be creative? They did not make the automobile, they did not make the locomotive. Surely they didn't, because they didn't want to operate in that domain. For being sustainable, it was important to operate in this domain. I have very little time, so I will rush through it, and I think your right side of the brain will be able to pick up. You can plot anything. A technical object will move towards emotional values when it becomes part of the culture. We have to go into the need, and we look into the morphology of need and how the need manifests itself, and how the need manifests itself as products, systems, services, and environment. And there is a need to celebrate. There's a need to celebrate my achievement, celebrate the social achievement. And these gives us the paradigm, the framework for thinking ideas and actions for innovation. And then we also look at energy, material, structure, machines, control systems, and how they go into. And innovation at any one of these levels can be a source of further improvement, further new creative actions. And these are some of the designs that the students produced and they won awards. And I think we have a very large share of awards. The essential reason is that the students have understood the dimension of care. So they can pick up problems where action is required. Here is a street light which will also clean up the air. So the hollow pipe has been used to build in the electronics which will keep cleaning up the air. So it got an award. Here is a medicine dispensing system. Here is a car for the elderly. Getting into a car or getting off the car, my time is over, but nevertheless, so getting is the most difficult thing. And here are some solutions. This is another car. The seat rotates and the door also opens. And the previous one, you have not seen the simulation. The door opens, the seat slides back, the roof also slides out. A person can easily get in and come out. Here the seat revolves and the door opens. That was made by the student. And when they discover their own problems for working on, they get so charged that I don't have to do anything. They do everything. This is another design for a family vehicle, and here is a design which can carry a wheelchair. I guess you get the point. Creativity and care is very important. Understanding that relationships and finding relationships is in the nature of the human body. And with this, I come to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.